This book right here helped me make millions day trading at 20 years old. Here's how. The book which I'm going to be discussing with you today is called Psycho-Cybernetics, and in my opinion it's the only book related to psychology which you'll ever have to read in order to be able to understand your mind and use it accordingly to become a profitable day trader. When it comes to this book, one of the main takeaways which I learned from it is that self-image is everything. When it comes to us as human beings, we tend to have a very negative image of ourselves, where we look to speak down on ourselves when we're not progressing as quick as we'd want to. I know from my own journey that is something which I was battling with for a long time, where I always felt like I was not doing enough. I always felt like I was slacking behind. I always felt like there was someone else out there doing better than me. And by having that negative self-image, I was holding myself back in a very significant way. And many of you are doing the same to yourself right now. So when it comes to self-image, it's very important that you begin to change your self-image in order for you to achieve the success which you're looking for. When it comes to becoming a consistently profitable day trader, the most important thing to understand is that consistency is a state of mind. Meaning you become consistent in your mind first before the actual results are there. And the reason why this is the case is due to the following. If you are right now struggling with achieving consistency, you're probably not thinking yet as a consistently profitable trader. Instead, you're simply chasing price patterns for the sake of price patterns being there. You're simply trading based upon gut feeling or emotions, and all those things are holding you back. Why? Because you don't feel like you deserve to be there yet. And even for some of you that have been studying for years now, trying to figure out how these markets move, you're still holding yourself back because you're not at the right state of mind yet. Therefore, you must change your self-image if you would want to get to the level that you so deeply desire. Some of you say that you truly want to become consistently profitable, but yet you're still behaving as a trader who's simply trading based upon impulse. Therefore, you must be able to look at yourself from a third eye perspective and look at everything which you're doing. Every single conversation which you're having. Who are you speaking to? Who are you allowing to basically have an influence on your thought processes? Once you start to define all these different elements in your life of everything that is right now impacting you, you'll be able to realize, hey, a lot of energy which you're allowing into your mind is toxic, it's negative. And if you allow that toxic energy into your mind, what's going to happen? You're always going to feel bad. You're always going to subconsciously feel like you're not good enough. And that right there is a big issue. And I know that some of you are probably listening to me speak now and you're probably thinking, what? How do you know that? Because everyone goes through that. Everyone deals with this. The only way that you're able to deal with this, however, is by becoming aware of it in the first place. And once you are self-aware of that the fact that you're not where you want to be at is because of you, that you're holding yourself back, from that moment in time, the whole growth journey begins. Because then all of a sudden you begin to realize, hey, once I change my self-image and you begin to look at yourself and your own journey from a more positive approach, what you will see is that everything will come your way. Secondly, what Psycho-Cybernetics really taught me was the following. Psycho-Cybernetics taught me that it's very important to set goals for myself. Goals that are well defined, goals that are detailed. And the reason why this is so crucial is because when it comes to goal setting, you must understand that in order for you to get somewhere, you must first have a certain vision. You must have a direction, a sense of this is what I'm working towards. Many of you, you're probably coming into trading with the mindset of, okay, I want to make a lot of money and then I want to buy all these fancy lifestyle things or whatsoever. You might want to drive a nice car, you might want to travel all the time or whatever it might be, right? You might have come into this due to lifestyle marketing and all of that stuff. However, that right there, when you say, hey, I want to be able to do those things, it's a very strong motivator. I'm a big believer in setting materialistic goals for yourself. However, make sure that you also set goals for yourself that you can measure, meaning set number targets for yourself. Say to yourself, by this time of year, I want to be able to say, okay, I've made this much money from trading. Or you could say, hey, by this time of year, I want to be able to replace my current job. Once you start defining your goals and you start to set clear deadlines, what will happen in your mind is the following. What will happen is that your mind will find a way. You must understand, your mind is so much more powerful than you think it is, and you're probably only using less than 10% of its capabilities. So do you see how important it is for you to begin utilizing it as best as possible? Look, I understand that what I'm saying to you right now might sound weird because you've been following me for all of this technical understanding that I have about the markets based on time and price and how I'm able to draw lines and predict the future. And that right there is truly important. Don't get me wrong. And some of you, this might be the first video which you watch of me. Welcome to my channel. My name is Zusi, and what I do is I share insights on why the markets are moving the way that they're moving, and more importantly, when. This is all based around time and price. But when it comes to what I'm explaining during this video, these are the psychological things that you are not aware of yet, but that you need to become aware of, because once you start implementing the changes that I learned in this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and honestly, I have shared many things about this book in the past on my Telegram channel. Link to that can be found below, by the way. And all the responses which I got from people that got to read this book, they were all like, damn, this is the most powerful book I've ever read. And that right there is for me also the reason why I decided to pick up the camera and create this video for you. Because I know what kind of an impact this book has made on my own thinking and my own career. I know it will do the same for you. A third insight which I got from Psycho-Cybernetics was the following. I always try to rush the process. I always try to rush the journey. And the reason why is because I felt like I was slacking. I felt like I was lagging behind. I was comparing myself to people that were already living the life that I was dreaming of. And I wanted to get there not in a year, not in a month. No, I wanted to get there today. And because I had that mindset in which I was impatient, in which I was rushing the process, I actually made it much harder for myself than it had to be in order to get to the stage where I'm now at. Therefore, one of the main takeaways which I learned from Psycho-Cybernetics is literally the following. Once you have defined what you're working towards, and you have defined, okay, this is the vision, this is the plan of how I'm going to realize the vision, you step back. It doesn't mean that you're not going to work hard. It doesn't mean that you're going to not do anything at all. That's not what I'm saying. However, what I am saying to you is the following. When it comes to trading, it's very important to note that we cannot rush the markets, meaning we cannot make decisions based upon emotional impulses. We instead can only do one thing, and that is searching for alignment. Alignment with what? Well, alignment with the algorithms that deliver price, with IPTA. The only way for you to find alignment when it comes to your trading is by, of course, knowing what IPTA is, how it runs the markets based on time and price. But once you have that technical understanding, instead of you trying to force your own will because you want to pass that funded challenge, or you want to get that payout, or whatever it might be that you're getting that emotional stimuli from of, okay, I need to do something now. Instead of you giving in to those emotional stimuli, you must learn to objectify your whole trading approach. And once you are able to look at the market from a more objective perspective, and your sole focus becomes, how am I able to align myself with IPTA, and how am I able to listen to what IPTA is signaling to me now, what you will notice that it will become way easier for you to do the right thing at the right moment in time. But again, this is only possible once you have the right technical understanding. If you're right now simply trading based on price patterns, or you're trading based on indicators for that sense, or maybe you're following signal groups or whatsoever, this doesn't apply to you yet. Why? Because you're looking at psychology, whilst in reality you should be looking at your technicals. But once you know that you have your own protocol, you know that you have your own model, everything is clear to you, why the market is moving the way it's moving, then psychology comes and play a role. In the trading industry, a lot of people put psychology on a big factor, and the reason why they do that is because they don't know why the market is moving the way that they're doing. So what they do is they basically utilize psychology as this concept of saying, oh, psychology is more important than technicals and whatever. I'm not of the belief of that. I believe that you should have a very solid technical understanding, and once you have that, that is when you can consider looking at psychology, once you notice that there's a lot of work which has to be done there as well. Finally, one of the main takeaways which I had from Psycho-Cybernetics was the following. When it comes to this overall journey that you are engaged in right now, it's very important that you are kind to yourself. That you never, ever, ever speak negatively to yourself. In your journal, make sure that you always journal in a positive way. When you're thinking about what you've done on the markets, always reflect upon it and look for the lessons, even when you made mistakes. And the reason why is because if you don't do that, what you're causing for your subconscious to pick up on that negative energy. And what will happen is that you're going to basically go out there the next trading day or next trading session, and you're going to project that negative energy onto the charts. So that comes back to the previous point which I made, where instead of you projecting everything which is inside of you, you must search for alignment with IPTA. And the only way that you're able to find that alignment is by making sure that your mind is at peace. And I understand that for some of you, that's simply not the case right now. You might be struggling with paying your bills. You might be struggling with making ends meet. You might be working a job that you absolutely hate. You might be in a toxic relationship. You might be worried about everything which is going on in the world. I completely get it. However, it's exactly in those environments that the only thing which you can focus on is on the things which you can control. Don't worry about everything which is outside of your control. There's no need for that. Once you start to see that there are things which you can in fact control when it comes to your own thinking, you will notice, hey, all these different things that you have no control over, they are of impact on your life, but it's only temporary. And so you need to find a way of, even in all of that stress which you might be experiencing, to still focus on studying, to still focus on performing well within your own trading. Once you start to become able to detach yourself from everything which is going on in your own life, and you start to look for that alignment all the time, I promise that you're going to get to that level of success which you so deeply dream about. One thing to end this video with is the following. You must first be able to see where you want to be, and then you must start living that way before you're actually there. And I wanted to keep this for the end of this video, and the reason why is because this right here is the most important psychological concept to understand. Once I understood this, everything changed for me. And this is one of the key elements within psycho-cybernetics. Let's say that you set a goal for yourself. Let's say that the goal is over here and you're working towards here whilst you're now here. In order for you to jump from here all the way to here, you must first already begin behaving that way. Because if you're going to continuously keep on behaving the way that you have been behaving right here, you will never be able to get to that level that you dream about. So do you understand that in order for you to get to this level, you must already begin behaving like you're at that level when it comes to your day-to-day routines, when it comes to who you surround yourself by, when it comes to your hobbies, when it comes to your activities outside of the charts. Everything is connected, guys. So you must define for yourself, okay, what does the ideal version of yourself look like? What does he or she pay attention to? What does he or she do outside of the charts? And once you start defining all these different elements, even diet, right? So many traders are thinking that diet doesn't matter whatsoever. What you put in your system is literally what's going to define the clarity that you have within your thoughts. All these different things are connected. So you must focus on defining, okay, in order for me to get to this level over here, how must I behave already now? Because once you start behaving that way, you begin to realize, hey, I was behaving at a lower frequency, but now the frequency has increased, and all of a sudden what you will notice is that everything will seem to just fall in line. Why? Because you're going to begin to see opportunities that other people don't. You're going to be able to look at the markets from a completely different perspective that 99.9% of all traders out there. And that is all going to be a result of you taking a jump from behaving this way to behaving to that new way. And once you start behaving that way, everything will fall into place. And with that, I would like to end this video. I hope that you found this video insightful. I know that I went on a bit of a rant, but again, this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, changed my whole life, and I hope it will do the same for you. I'm not affiliated in any shape or form, but I do believe that if you read this book, your whole life is going to change when it comes to your own perspective on life, and especially within your own trading journey. Now, when it comes to videos like this, I'm still a bit getting used to sitting in front of a camera, etc. But I do hope that this video inspired you to take psychology more seriously if you've already mastered your technicals. Please let me know in the comments if you would like to see more sit downs like this, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next video. Be safe.